And we have some breaking news. Of course, we are awaiting new comments from the president on North Korea out at any moment. Of course, he could talk about anything in addition to North Korea, as he did earlier. So we're anxiously awaiting those comments. We'll bring them to you as soon as we get them. Ric Grenell, former advisor to 4 U.S. ambassadors to the United Nations and a Fox News contributor, joining us now. Rick, it's clear that the media is trying to paint this administration at odds with each other over North Korea. They're saying the president comes out with something strong, Rex Tillerson comes out with something softer, and there's all this infighting. I don't really see it that way. I don't see those comments as at loggerheads at each other. Do you?
No, I mean, breaking news, the Pentagon is different from the State Department. One does diplomacy, one does military action. So, look, I think as a diplomat, what we've always wanted to see was a credible threat of military action behind us, so that when we're negotiating, when we're sitting across the table, when we're trying to find solutions that are calm and diplomatic in nature, we know that there's a credible threat behind us, so that if we fail, if we're unable to come to an agreement, then we transfer the file behind us to the Pentagon, right, and they don't negotiate.
Well,
so I think that there's a difference here.
Forgive me, when do we reach the end of the diplomatic road? At what point?
Diplomats should never reach the end. They should constantly be trying up until, you know, it's not safe. So I would say that because we have two different branches, because we have two different very successful parts of the government, the State Department and the Pentagon, they should be working on dual tracks, and there should always be an evaluation by the NSC as to how successful one could be, right, and whether or not we, for safety reasons, pull people back.
Well, let me just throw out, if you will, one suggestion of where that line should be, or where maybe it shouldn't be, from Marie Harf, who, of course, worked with the Obama administration. She's now, like you, a Fox News contributor. She was on Outnumbered earlier. I want to play the sound from that and then get your reaction. Go ahead.
Is a couple missiles landing outside of Guam in the ocean enough to put, you know, millions of South Koreans and American troops that are stationed in South Korea in harm's way of North Korean missiles? I'm not sure that's a calculation we'll make.
Now, my co-anchor just said, "Are you kidding me?" And I was shaking my head as you are. What do you think of that?
I mean, what she's really saying is that the likelihood is that the missiles are going to go somewhere else and that we're likely not going to get hit. I don't think that if you are in charge of national security that you can make determinations on what is probable or likely. I think that you have to protect the American people. The idea that any missile would be in the air and that we're relying on our defense is a very scary proposition.
So even though you are a diplomat to the bitter end, you would say that that would be enough of a provocation, would deserve a military response from the United States?
Look, I'm not a military guy. I would leave all those decisions up to the military. I want to see diplomacy with muscle. David, I still think that there's some things that we can do. Oil sanctions and banking sanctions have not been tried. Why can't we do banking sanctions on China? The Chinese pulled out the oil sanctions out of the last resolution. They should be in there.